Welcome back to another episode of The Chair. It is your girl, Carlette Claire. Let me tell you a little something. About 15 years ago, I recall giving a botched haircut to one of my customers. It was embarrassing, I was sweating, and did not know how I was gonna fix it. So that got me thinking. So we went to Vision's Barbershop and we asked some of the customers there, what was your worst barber experience? What was your worst barber experience?
Getting a crooked edge up.
Tell them when I cut your ear on the test.
Yeah, getting my ear cut on the tester, not knowing it either.
So you said that you got a bad edge up. Can you maybe explain what that was like? You sat in the chair and what was it like at the end?
It was crooked and I was mad, but I had to let it grow back out and just redo it again.
They handed you the mirror and did you look in it for a long time?
Not really, I just glanced and it looked at, I did a side view and that was it. But when I got in the car, I was like, oh man.
Can you share what that bad barber experience was like?
It was just terrible. I wouldn't go back again.
What happened?
The haircut. It just messed up. Yeah.
Can you describe it?
It was just uneven. Everything uneven. Yeah, not right.
Were you mad?
Very. I didn't pay for it.
What was your worst barber experience?
Worst barber experience, 11 years old, had a barber trying to get a high top fade and was edging me up, and my edge up line was kind of crooked, and it just wasn't, and he kind of messed up my hair, took the high top and kind of basically made me bald almost, so yeah, that was my barber experience.
He put a hole in it? Or
I'm sorry?
He put a hole in it or he brought it down?
He put a hole in it. Yeah, put a hole in it.
What kind of haircut you got?
I'm gonna get a fade, cut low.
So Deon, you are the vice principal at East High School.
Yes, yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what you do there?
I would say support children. I think that's my biggest job. I'm an alumni of East, class of '93, so I got the opportunity to return. I jumped on it.
What do you love about it?
I get a lot of deja vu walking in the hallway sometime. This is where I met my wife at East High School. We met, been together since 1990.
You know I have to ask you what the deja vu
Yeah,
stories
yeah.
are and how you met your wife.
Oh, I met my wife at McDonald's, actually. The old McDonald's. I was pretty popular in high school, and my wife, I happened to go in McDonald's for lunch. This was when East had an open campus, and this girl just runs past me, almost knocked me over. I guess it was a group of girls talking. So I'm like, what's wrong with her? I asked the other girls. They was like, that's Joyce. It's like, she been liking you for a year. So I run outside. I'm like, oh, slow down. She's nervous. I'm nervous. And then, I get the number. And I said, I've been chasing her ever since. And we have 3 children. And, when we say the better half, she's definitely my better half. She keeps me grounded.
Some kids, they have so many other distractions in life. It's like, how do you get them to understand the value of education?
Take them as they is. The parents send us the kids the best. The parents are doing the best. Every parent, no matter what their situation, want the best for their child. And I believe that, I was talking to a parent the other day. I said, we have to do this together. It's not, you just can't send them to school and say, hey, school fix it. Or we send them home, like, can't nothing we do, the home is this. Now, at the end of the day is that if these kids don't have a quality education, if they left to the mercy of the world, then we failed. And I said, I tell the kid, your success, my success. My failure, your failure is my failure. If you fail, I fail. If you succeed, I succeed. I take this real personal. And the kids know that. The kids know who real. They'll tell you, sometimes I go do an observation in a class, so the kids will tell me, give me the elbow, be like, Rogers, she don't be doing this when you ain't here, right? I said, I need to come more often. I said, and sometimes they try, throw the teacher on the bus. We got, and one thing at East, I would say, we have some great teachers, but the kids will, one of our, missions for the kids to is advocate for self and others. They take that literally. They don't, at East, the kids definitely know they have a voice.
Tyson, is there anything that you see? I know you've been a barber for decades. When you see young kids come in and you're cutting, you have a unique opportunity too to be a mentor in a sense and speak.
For me, I see myself as being a great role model. So it's important to be a good witness of who I'm called to be in the community. It helps me also at home. I look at every kid now, because I have kids now, as my kid. So when I'm giving advice, it means the world, you know what I'm saying? Or when I'm being a good witness, it means the world. You know, you want the kids to not just hear some of the good things that you're going to tell them, but you want them to see it in you, because it's hard to listen to somebody that doesn't operate in the way they expect you to operate, especially with older, you know, people to the youth. To me, I just feel like there's a lot of blaming and a lot of criticizing, and you know, this is a different generation. So to me, I feel as though we just have to, you know, the world is getting broad now with technology and everything. So you just have to have a broad state of mind all the way around the board and not be closed-minded to what it was like in your days. And if we all can be a good witness, when a child see a man, it's easy to be able to repeat being a man.
It's one thing my dad used to say all the time. He would say, people are always watching. He says, when you think they're not watching, they are always watching. It could be something as simple as, you know, you walk out your house to go to the mailbox. He's like, somebody's always watching. Even if you look around and you don't think you see anybody, but people view you. So when you're walking the hallways, Dion or Tyson, the kids are sitting in here, you're right. Or adults, people are watching. And I would even think about the times when I was cutting, and I would have a lot of kids sit in the chair, and some of them, I could see so much potential in them, and it used to break my heart because I would see them out on the street, and it was like, why don't you go to school? Because you're really talented with your hands. And, you know, like pick up a skill or a trade. And some of them were just nervous because they're thinking about their friends, you know, like their peers, and people would talk about them if they went to school and this and that. I'm like, look, you know, so I had an opportunity behind the chair to try to speak life or be an encouragement. So I think it's a unique position, and they know you care. So I think love is important, and you're right, the honesty. Because I think if you're just honest and straight up, people have a different level of respect than if you're trying to come at them from an angle as if you don't hear where they are, where they're coming from. You know, that was probably one of the best things that I enjoyed about it, was I was just able to talk to some of the kids. If I had an opportunity to just say something positive, and maybe they'll think about it later, maybe they won't, but
my motto is, I said, kids are not gonna come in front of me and I didn't speak to him or her the truth. So I think whatever avenue you're in as just a positive person, it's up to us. If, like I said, tell the kids, you're gonna hear me. You might not hear me right now, but you're gonna hear me when you crossing that stage, graduating from college. You're gonna be like, I remember Mr. Rogers or others said something positive. Or you're gonna hear me when you're sitting in that cell and you done made a foolish mistake. But you're gonna know that when you came in front of me, I done told you the right. I done gave you the tools. Now you could choose. And I've had to, you know, in my life, you know, everyone who tried to impart positive and say positive, you hear them as you have your successes. You be like, oh, you know, my third grade teacher, Mrs. John, you know, but
everybody remembers the elementary teacher.
But you remember those who told you, who were positive, who were honest with you, whether you like it or not. Whether, you know, sometimes, hey, I say, I'm not here, like I tell you, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make sure you're successful. And I'm not, you know, I'm not here to, I'm not your buddy. That's my killer. Hey, Baker, yeah, boy, or your buddy. That's the kid side. I said, I'm not your buddy.
They call you that?
No, so you know, some of them get a little slick at the mouth sometimes. And I said, my name is Mr. Rogers. I don't mind they call me Rogers, Unc Rogers, but hey, it's, you know, we got a whole everyone accountable.
They do.
Everyone, children and adults in this system.
They do. Have you had any kids come back to you
Oh, all the time.
and say, man, you told me, Mr. Rogers, blah, 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 and now look at what I'm doing.
I tell you, this is, and it could be a good thing. It's like, sometime when I'm out, I encounter the successes. People, they go, Rogers, or they hit you on the Facebook, you the best, administrator or teacher that I had, because I taught social studies for 13 years before I got into administration. So I was teaching, coaching, and but then you also, and I have to be real about this, I do sometimes go, if I go by a store and I see some of our kids who have made wrong choices. And at the time, I could see them going that way. They didn't change their error and their ways, and it's tough. I find myself often, if I'm out, carrying dollar bills, because sometimes, it be these grown men. And the grown men, they were teenagers back then, but they didn't take life seriously and made wrong mistakes, and they're homeless. They be like, man, I ain't got nothing to eat, Rogers. I was like, I'll go, chicken, try not to give money. I give you food. But they're struggling out here for whatever reasons, but like I tell them, they could go back that, and they was in high school, in school, maybe we baited them, maybe they didn't take their education seriously, but the reality of the world, like these kids, if you leave them without a high school diploma or some type of trade or some type of tool, something to help you, you're either gonna be job or career readiness, or being able, like Tyson, being able to start your own business. If we don't create them with some type of tools to be successful, then we're creating them for tools to be failures or tools to struggle. We have a serious poverty issue in the city of Rochester that's not clearly addressed, that we're one of the most impoverished cities in the nation.
I know.
And people can't tell me that don't stem back to education and people redefining what education. If I believe everybody's not going to college.
Correct.
So stop telling these kids this dream. If you go to college get a debt. They don't know that you could find somewhere to work, but they will go and they will pay you to go to college to further your education. Or you can get a trade. My father was a plumber. He's still a plumber.
The plumber, yeah. My mom's a seamstress.
Okay.
So she, was from Buffalo and always talked about, they went to, like in the high schools, they had all the different trades that they had to take. And my sister and my brother, they went to college right out of high school. And I was the lone one that was not sure what I wanted to do. And my parents would talk to me about going to college, but that wasn't my path at that point. So I ended up barbering, just kind of lucking out on that. Did that for a number of years before going to college. So I'm always an advocate of your path doesn't have to look like everyone else's.
Yeah.
You can start off with a trade. I made money to be able to pay my way through college later.
I come from a family, my mother was a single mom, and when I was 10 years old, looking at my life and wondering what can I do to change our situation, and being the oldest. And it was like, what, at 10 years old, I had to think of what can I do that was not only gonna do something for me, because like he said, it's not about me, it's about we. So I was thinking at 10, we gotta get out of this situation. So what I did was like, what, I know I'm artistic, I know I can draw, what can I do with what God has already given me as a gift? And so when I took my creativity with drawing and put it with cutting hair, all I needed was an opportunity to have some clippers in my hand. My uncle was cutting our hair, and I just started, and I never looked back. And it was just something that I put the pencil down and picked the clippers up. So every time I come home from school, I'm cutting hair. And it just got to a point to where the more people start feeling comfortable with me, the more I start feeling powerful. And I think that's what a lot of the kids today is missing. They don't know what gifts they have. They don't know how to take what your gift is and then turn it into something that's gonna not only help you but help others. And I thought too to myself at 10 years old, I said, what could I do that's gonna create, that's gonna have an effect in the future? And I said, something that's never gonna change. Like, what could I do? And when that light went on, like cutting hair, I said, you know what? Someone is always gonna need their hair cut. And now you look 25 years later, I started cutting hair at $3 a haircut, and now I'm cutting at 30. It's like, you know what? This was well worth it. This was well worth it, you know, and the experience. Now cutting hair is I love it. That's why I do it. Because like I was just telling you, sometimes it gets so easy that you don't want to do it no more. And us in the community, that's how we feel too. When you doing the same thing over and over and over, it gets boring. You start to look for certain things, but some of us don't have positive outlets. But I'm glad that cutting hair has not only benefited me, but it benefited people who, when I was once younger, were in the streets, right? And then, you know, I own a barbershop now, and it's like that same person that you used to ask dollars from is now not living in the streets, but now kind of want to cut hair now. They want to get their license, and it's like, you know what? Wow, I'm gonna help you, and it just feels good to be able to help people, because you know you don't know what people are going through today, and especially in his position and in my position, we come across kids that are broken, but in the environment that we are in, they can open up without us trying to open them up.
What's a safe place?
It's a safe place. The barbershop, a sanctuary. You go to recreation centers, school, sanctuaries, places where they feel like, you know, I'm good, you know, but you just still got to bring the good out of them, because in these environments there are bad influences and stuff like that. But if they come to where there's structure, that's where it all stems from. That structure is so important in even our lives as adults. Just structure. People don't understand how much a job structures your life. I mean, if he said, you know, I don't give out no money, but sometimes a dollar will help more than some advice. You know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because I know if I was in there, I needed a dollar, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Just give me a dollar. Please.
Give me a dollar. 4 quarters.
4 quarters, man. That's all I need.
Where are you going with $1 though?
Give him 5. Give him 5.
And that's the thing too. You see how money before used to give somebody a dollar.
Yeah, like they be disrespect. Man, come on, man. Yeah, they be like, yeah, they looking at you.
When they ask for money now, it's like, yo, listen, I just need a check. Just write a check.
Yeah.
That's it.
They take cash at me.
Exactly.
Yes, that is it. Cash at me now. Thanks for watching another episode of The Chair. Make sure that you share, like, subscribe, and even comment below, because I would love to hear from you. We will continue this conversation with Dion Rogers and Tyson Cotton coming up the next time, so make sure you stay tuned.